Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. And as in the last video we studied about bundlers, that what bundlers are, how do they work, what actions do they perform, and everything. So now today we are going to study about Vite. Why is it lightning fast? What is the use case of it? So if you have worked with the React app, you have probably used Vite, and as soon as you run the command npm run dev, your application instantly goes live on the dev server on your local host. So how does Vite manages to do it? Because in traditional applications where we are using maybe webpack, so you see that the application builds and it takes about many seconds before your application is rendered, and if your app is a large app, then it probably need more time. So what is that Vite is doing? Is it a upgrade to webpack? How it is handling all that stuff? So let's start with it and see how does Vite does that. So before Vite, our traditional applications which webpack uses, in which we uses webpack, so it follows a basically a traditional approach that is very straightforward. For example, let me tell you, suppose we have an application where we have a file named main.jsx, right? It imports another file, suppose app.jsx, and it suppose other file maybe 1.jsx, then 2.jsx, and so on, right? So what webpack does is, when it builds your application, then it makes a dependency graph, right? So it comes into your root application, then it sees what is the main file, it comes on to this main.jsx, that this is the main file, right? Then it sees that this main.jsx is importing app.jsx, so it builds that. Then it sees that it's importing 1.jsx and then 2.jsx and so on, right? So what it does is, it goes and sees your main file, then it continuously sees what app or packages it uses and then builds it, and then comes and deploy it to your local development server, right? So this is pretty straightforward, right? So but the issue with this is, suppose in this question we have, next is maybe 500 files more, right? So what it does is, it has to build all those 500 files, and due to this constraint, this is the reason that it takes a lot of time, right? But now what Vite does is, Vite, so you have to understand before that, that now our JavaScript modules is ES modules, these are supported by our browsers. So whether it is Chrome or Firefox, Edge, or anything else which we use to day, these ES modules are supported by our browsers. So we understand it's that why we need to build everything before serving it to development server, because our browsers already understand these steps, right? So what we does is, we basically, when the file is requested from the browser, it directly go and serve that file. It directly goes and serve that file. That is the main thing which you need to remember. Vite serves ES bundle files directly. So what does it mean? Now let me tell you. So suppose main.jsx is requested, it is given given to Chrome, right? Now Chrome sees that main.jsx is dependent on app.jsx, right? So Chrome sees it is dependent on app.jsx, so Chrome request app.jsx. Now Chrome sees the app.jsx and it thinks that, oh, it needs 1.jsx files as well, so it again asks for 1.jsx. So in this way, Chrome asks for relevant files that are only needed, right? So in this way, Vite thinks that Vite directly serves it, and hence it is fast. But now there is a question which you should think, that if the Chrome is asking for files, or either we build them or the Chrome is asking for files, then why is it fast? Like, isn't it making apps slower? Because ultimately the Chrome is asking for files, right? So here comes the concept of dependency pre-building. Keep in mind, let me write it down. The concept of, very important, very important, is dependency pre-building. Okay, so this is a very important concept, dependency pre-building. What it says is that, suppose you have 100 component files, maybe you have 100 JSX files, 100.jsx files, you have hundreds of JSX files, right? So your files will change, right? Many files will change. You are continuously doing development, hundreds of files are getting changed. But you do realize that the most of the dependencies which you make, when you make a build of the file, your packages also get pre-built. Like, your packages also get built into that build, and then it is served to the server. So what Vite does is, Vite pre-bundles those packages and libraries that are not going to change in a frequent amount of time as soon as your other files are changing. So for example, first is, suppose I'm just giving an example, maybe React. So you are changing 1.jsx, 2.jsx, app.jsx, but are you changing the React? No. Are you changing React DOM, or maybe Lodash, if you are using Axios or any other bundles? Are you changing these? No. So what Vite does is, Vite uses esbuild to make a build of these packages and libraries already. Let me write it down. It uses esbuild. You have heard about it, that everyone says Vite is faster because of esbuild. So this is very important, you keep in mind. Vite uses esbuild to already pre-build at these dependencies and any other. Suppose there are 10 more, so these, so Vite uses to pre-build these. And as soon as your app, the modules which we need to build, so the modules are built, these apps are already pre-built in your esbuild, using esbuild in your node modules. So the app is immediately served, hence app is immediately served, because these packages itself have thousands and thousands of JS files, right? So other packages, other bundlers used to build it every time when a new build is made, right? But Vite uses esbuild to already build these. So as soon as your app is rendered, these are pre-built. Your just components is changed, your main.jsx is changed, so only that is going to pre-build, and then the app is served. Hence Vite is so much faster, right? There is also a concept of HMR, which stand for hot module replacement. So what is hot module replacement? So suppose you have maybe hundreds of files again, and you change the file number 4.jsx. 4.jsx is changed. So what we does is, or let me tell you in a better example, suppose this is your app, this is your app, this is your navbar jsx, right? And this is your dashboard. Now you made a change in navbar.jsx, so you made a change in here, right? So let me change it to the navbar. So now when navbar.jsx is changed, why do you need to change the dashboard.jsx, right? This doesn't need to be changed. But when you are building everything and everything again, then the dashboard is going to build again as well, right? So what we does is it only checks what module is changed, and it only changes that and reflects that to the browser. So Vite what does is it changes only that stuff, only that component here, which is the navbar that is changed, and it is only changing that and going it to the development server. So this is why Vite is so fast. Now you also think that okay, Vite does not make a build, so how we are going into production and all that stuff, right? But that is a common misconception. Vite also produces, when we do run the command npm run build, so what will does is it will make a production build, a prod build for you to deploy. So it will make a prod build for you to deploy, and you can deploy it using any stuff. So we can use Vite via Docker or static assets or anything you want to make your file with, and Vite helps you out there. So these are the reasons why Vite feels lightning fast, right? And it also does the pre-building using the esbuild. And just to keep in mind, this is not a specific esbuild video, but let me tell you, esbuild is basically a compiler, is a compiler written in Go. And what Go is super fast language, super fast. Okay, so Vite uses esbuild, and esbuild uses Go, which super fastly compiles your dependencies, which are these ones. And so these are immediately compiled and stored and served from your local development server. So that is the reasons Vite is so fast. And we have fast startups, we have hot module replacements, and we have, it makes dependency graphs, and it serves file directly to the server, which makes your work a lot easier. And hence Vite is so fast. And this is the reason that in every application, in most applications you see today, they are using Vite. So even some applications, people are transferring their systems from webpack to Vite. So yeah, this is all the stuff about Vite, why it is so fast. I hope you like the video. Thank you for watching the video, and please like and do comment how do you feel about the video. And please subscribe to the channel. It will go into a great and long front end series, so all your concepts about front end are going to be clear in this series. And if you have any questions, please do ask in the comments. And thank you so much for watching the video.